Today is a fantastic day. Today is a great day to be an American, if you didn't know. Today is actually a great day to be a supporter of the Woodward Sports Network. Today is a great day to be a coffee drinker. Today is a great day to be many things. Many things to be. Today is a great day to be alive. Today's a great day to be a Detroit Lions fan. And of course, finally, today is a great day to be me. What up, Jeff? Good morning, buddy.
Good morning.
How are you?
It was a great day yesterday, man. Brad Holmes got even more busy. I know at the end, Jamal Williams, we talked about it the last 2 days, and the likelihood of him re-signing. Well, you have your answer. David Montgomery, 3-year deal, $18 million, $11 million guaranteed.
Nice.
How does Brad Holmes do it? How does he consistently do it? Any other prior general manager would have paid any price for Jamal Williams. And I love Jamal. Listen, I appreciate everything he did as a Lion, productivity-wise, and just what he did in the locker room. I appreciate all of that. But there's something that's called being a good general manager, Adam, making the right business decisions. And this was absolutely the right business decision. No matter how you feel about Jamal Williams, the fact that Brad had the kahunas to say, okay, Jamal, here's what we like you at. And Jamal said, well, no. Here's what I like me at. This is what I want to sign at. And Brad's like, okay, well, David Montgomery, here's the same contract. Do you want to join? You want to become a Lion? Okay, let's roll. Let's roll, baby. Let's roll. And I love it. You got a younger, more dynamic, one of the, if you look up the stats, by the way, David Montgomery, one of the highest missed tackle rates. You can look that up.
With Nick Chubb.
Dynamic, more dynamic, younger, love it, more elusive. He's the best back you have immediately. So I love it, man. Brad Holmes.
I'll say
Neil's
this.
gonna love this because the financials make sense.
I will say this. The Jamal Williams news is not definitive. It's not official yet that he'll be leaving. I think we all imagine he will be. But to me, yesterday, forget David Montgomery for a second. Emmanuel Mosley. Do you guys not understand what's happening in Detroit? Do you guys not understand for a split second what you will be watching this year? Look, we'll get into Emmanuel Mosley, his 1-year deal coming off an ACL injury. We'll get to David Montgomery. We'll talk about them re-signing John Kaminsky. We'll talk about their draft strategy now they've addressed the corner with 2 different players now. We'll talk about so much. But can we all just talk about one very important thing maybe nobody's talking about? That I've yet to see anybody have the balls to even say. And I mean this. We talked about expectations on Monday. And how expectations will change for this team, whether you like it or not. And if you want to be the same old Lions person, if you want to be the guy, the gal, the it, whatever you define yourself as, it's totally your decision. Whatever you think of this team, whatever you know about its history, which is a really shit history, how do you not put your arms and faith around this Detroit Lions team? And as someone that's been very vocal and very critical, I find myself easily putting my arms around this team this year. Mm-hmm. Whether they live up to expectations, to me, that's not my job. My job isn't to go out there and win football games. That's their job. But I think we can all agree they've positioned themselves, without even the draft, as already a top 4 roster in the NFC. Already solidified. They are one of the 4 best rosters going into next season in the NFC. They are the division favorite going into next year. They are among the top 4 favorites to get out of the NFC, shockingly. So if you want to play the same old Lions card with me this morning and over the whole offseason, you know what? Fine, that is your right. I would encourage you not to. How do you not put your arms around a front office that makes shrewd moves like this, huh? Do you question the coach? Have I questioned? Absolutely. Was he 4-19-1 at one point? Absolutely. Did they finish 8-2 down the stretch? They absolutely did. And I would like to believe the latter. But unfortunately, they need to prove it. Yes, they do. But how do you not put your arms around this football team? How do I have to wake up, drive home, and listen to so many people talking about the signings, and we're all there. This is a big deal. Guys, the Detroit Lions, for the first time in my lifetime, have positioned themselves to be legitimate contenders, and they're still doing it the right way. They haven't sacrificed, they haven't overpaid, they haven't misaddressed any position. This is legit. The front office, if you were to ever sell me day one on the Lions working with Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, I said it day one, it would be because Brad Holmes would be a phenomenal GM, and it would be a top 10 roster in all of football in 4 years. And you're on pace to do that. How do you not put your arms around this team and say, yeah, I do have expectations. Yeah, I do think they're actually going to be really good. Are you going to miss Jamal Williams? We'll get to that. I don't think so. If the Chiefs can move on from Tyreek Hill, why the hell can't the Lions move on from Jamal Williams? But that's for a later conversation. Jeff, you got to put your arms around this team, whether you like it or not, whether you're the biggest pessimist or you're an optimist. How do you not? They're doing things not just the right way. Mm-hmm. They're operating, in my opinion, at a top 10 front office level.
Yes.
And I would say they're closer to 5 than 10.
Yeah, that's the big thing. They're operating differently. Like, even what Brad Holmes did, and I tweeted this out last night, it's just different. Like, his approach to free agency, we've seen prior GMs or prior front offices, when you have money available and the first day of free agency opens, you're spending it on Trey Flowers. You're spending it on guys that aren't necessarily big hits or someone you can trust. It ends up being a mistake. Brad Holmes is dishing out low-risk, high-reward sheets. Like even the one with Cam Sutton, a guy who's entering his prime or is in his prime currently, playing some of his best football. You got him on a 3-year deal, $30 million. Like it's not bad. And then you get Emmanuel Mosley, who tore his ACL last October, has a ton of upside, just hasn't been able to stay healthy. Okay, here's a 1-year deal. Here's a flyer. And then David Montgomery, very productive back, underutilized in Chicago. Jamal's asking for too much money. Okay, let's go after David Montgomery on a cheaper deal.
Who, by the way,
how he's maneuvering, that's a good front office.
Has played at least 13 games every single year of his career. That means something to me, especially when DeAndre Swift is a big question mark. Do I like Swift? Do you like Swift? Who doesn't?
Right.
Swift is uber talented.
And let me tell you the other thing Brad pointed out, because this is something you don't hear a lot about guys like David Montgomery. This is quoted on ESPN.com in the article they wrote about him signing with the Lions. He says, they said in the article, at the end of the 2022 season, Bears general manager Ryan Poles praised Montgomery for his contributions on the field and leadership that helped insulate the locker room during a 3-14 season. So, listen, you don't think Brad thinks about that as well? Like David brings leadership qualities?
David Montgomery fantasy football owner, okay? You have no idea how disgusted I was that this guy would carry the workload behind a shit offensive line in Chicago, and then Tariq Woolen would take the 6 points at the goal line. You have no idea the trauma, the losses I suffered because of this. I know me some David Montgomery, and I'm on board with it. I told you, you could draft a 4th, 5th round running back, and he could produce. If you gave him 262 carries, I would guarantee you he could produce 1,000 yards just like Jamal Williams did. You can replace that production. Are you concerned about the leadership? Well, Detroit, newsflash, you've been selling me on Dan Campbell and his culture. I think they'll be just fine without Jamal Williams. Do you love to have a guy like that in the locker room?
Absolutely.
Everybody does. When it goes against my foundational rules as a general manager, sorry, you got to go. It's a home run. It is business in Detroit, and I can't believe it. To me, this is Christmas morning. This is better than any draft pick. This is better than anything you could have imagined going into free agency. To me, this is Brad Holmes saying, we have a window. I'm paying Jared Goff relatively nothing compared to some of the better quarterbacks in the NFL. And if you want to compare him to his peers, he's outperforming all of them outside of course, the elite ones. And they're all getting paid more. Dak's getting more. Kirk's getting more. Tannehill was getting more. Everybody was getting more.
Yep.
And I'm getting more production. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with Jared. But this is for later in the show. All signs point to what in the draft exactly? I want to talk about draft strategy. Because if you could ever sell me on drafting a quarterback, I'm still not sold. But I think people who are making the case at least have a case. I don't think they do it, but I'd be willing to listen a little bit more this morning.
Yeah.
So today is a great day. Now, is it a great day because Jamal Williams likely isn't returning to the Lions? No, it's not about Jamal Williams. It's about the principles of running a football team, a professional football team, the correct way. And you have a front office that's doing that. Brad Holmes, I saw a lot yesterday about the villain hoodie and the villain gear he's been wearing, and he's a villain now. No, he's not. He's a shrewd general manager that I can respect.
Who doesn't let personal feelings get in the way, which that's one of the most important things. It's all business, baby. And he's nailed the business decisions.